for last month, we are number one. We just grabbed every key demographic. Yeah! Super duper! That's nice! Way to go! Neato, gang! Yes, boy. That is good news.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Tavern Sports Podcast. My name is Toby Brindle, and I'll be your host for this show. How have you been? Me? It's been actually quite interesting. I do have to say that. Well, like, for example, yesterday, I did not do what I said I was going to do and talk about a certain video game. And I also forgot a few other things, but come on. Here at the Tavern Sports Podcast, we bring you only 30% of the information that you need to know. All right, so first up, let's get the topic that I was going to talk about yesterday and talk about it today. There was a poll that was done with NHL games, like from EA Sports, and they said which one are the best ones. And they're basically telling people just to look into it and say, which one did he have the most fun with? Which one do you think was the best? One of the answers was NHL 94. To me, personally, that's got to be one of the most... It was okay, but it wasn't great. There are other games out there that was so much better and so much more fun that it should have been in the spot. Don't get me wrong, it was fun. The gameplay was a lot better than NHL 93. But there was more things going on in 95. For example, in 1995, you had the seasons. So you could go and actually have a season throughout. Then after 95, 96 was way better. They got the whole season clip all better, all figured out. 97, 98 was kind of okay. They did have a special ability type of deal for each player, which, you know, it was okay, but it started to be too archaic. 99, to me, was one of the best. It had stats, it had a good season, the graphics were getting better and better. NHL 2000, the graphics did increase, but it just kind of felt like it was going in the leeway. They took so many more things out. 2001 was kind of a copy of 2000. 2002, the big hit, the Deke cam, good idea, poorly executed. 2003, I was hooked on that. 2004, it just got harder. There was a little bit more in the fantasy dynasty part to it. Didn't like it, really hard. 2005, 2006, and 2007 actually started adding certain things to try competing with its competitors and was not working at all. I think that was one of the biggest dips that Electronic Arts has actually seen when it comes to video game sales. Because I played all those and I absolutely hated them. What was it? 8, I didn't play. 9, I played a little. They were trying to introduce the stick. So, of course, there was a little bit of okayness to it, but they never perfected it. Paused a little bit, came back at 11. Did enjoy it. but not that well. 12, just didn't play it in total. Didn't play any of the other video games in between. Then my son, he played 21, actually didn't mind it. So that was basically my review. I still say NHL 99 was a hell of a lot better than 94. 93 was better than 94. Like 93, it was more of the feel of the hockey. Like when he got injuries, you could see the blood could come out if they're really, really injured. You could fight them if they got injured in the fights. Blood would come out. Like I found 93, it was more exciting, more gripping. The only thing 94 basically had was one-timers. That was it. It was just absolutely amazing now that Electronic Arts is making so much money off of these 1994 retro games when there was more different retro games out there when it comes to the NHL series, like the franchise. 93 was better than 94. 95 was better than 94. 97, 98, they were way better than 94. Am I crazy? I think so. And I'm just kind of rambling on, but it is true. Then even when it comes to video games, Electronic Arts does not have one of the best hockey games ever. If you break it down, Electronic Arts actually has it to the point where they were so far behind, they were getting scared, so they bought the rights. They bought the rights and stole ideas from a video game that was produced 4 to 5 years earlier just to stay irrelevant and to stay up. That video game was done by 2K Studios, or 2K Sports, and it was NHL 2K5. That particular game was one of the best games I've ever played. That was my number one. It had the stick feature, it had pinning, it had poke checking. Like, seriously, go back and take a look at what you can actually physically do. It was unbelievable. They even had line chemistry back in 05. It was mind-boggling, mind-blowing. Like, it was absolutely insane. On top of that, okay, that was 2K5. Best game ever. In 04, Xbox came out with XSN Sports. They had NHL Rivals. That was one of the best games at that time. Like, the graphics were sweet, the gameplay was awesome, the idea, like, on pinpoint passing was just absolutely insane. You would you take your right toggle, and that was your pass button. So if you had 4 people evenly spaced, the computer would kind of follow your demand. So you would have to point to the direction that you want to pass to, then hit the pass button. And of course, then it would pass. But sometimes you would get way caught up to the point where it was more confusing for yourself. But the part that I absolutely loved about NHL Rivals was the pinpoint passing, where you would take your left toggle and you would point to where you want to pass. So if you had a tic-tac-toe area, you would take your toggle and go 1, 2, 1, 2, then you hit the shoot button, then it'd do it. And the computer would recognize it and actually do it for you. So instead of you getting out of line, taking that one little split, blonde hair, it would screw everything up. But with the pinpoint passing, it would automatically do it for you, and it was beautiful. Hell, Electronic Arts, even stole that idea. But the only difference is you'd have to pull the left trigger and do it that way, because they would have They would have so much more things going on. Biggest problem with Electronic Arts, they tried jam-packing so much features within the game that it'd get confusing for anybody. So of course they'd have to pull it back or whatever. But Rivals 2K5, so much better than anything that Electronic Arts has put out. And I really got on a tangent here. Anyway, but yeah, 1994's NHL was not as good as people say. I don't care. If you disagree, tangentsportsnetwork@gmail.com. Give it to me. Tell me the reason why it's the best. I'll even read your comments on air. Alright, but anyway, you guys, I'm going to let you guys go. That was my little rant for today. And, well, I guess I'll talk to you Monday with a way better show, especially with more CFL, which Calgary lost to BC 15-9 in the CFL. NFL, is Jared Goff going to start tonight with Detroit? Me personally, I think so. Now they are actually saying it's a... what did I read? They said something about with Detroit and Goff, it's a new dynasty. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. Baseball, yeah, whatever. Anyway, if you want to know about any other shows on the networks or things like that, make sure you head to bio.link/Tavern Sports. That's bio.link/Tavern Sports. It will take you to every place that you need to go. If you have any questions, comments, you can hit us up on the email, which there's a link in there, and Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. So I will talk to you later. Gator. Oops. That's not what I wanted.